Blabberbrains.
Welcome back to the Blabberbrains Show, and if that song that you heard right there in the break is called We Will Be Fine, and if the voice sounds familiar to you, it should, because it's a legendary voice of John Elefante, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming on the show, John. Let's cue the big applause. There you go.
Glad to be here, Michael.
John,
we've been longtime friends, and I'm proud to be with you.
Yeah, well, John, as everybody knows, legendary singer, songwriter, producer, multi-Grammy Awards, Dove Awards. How many Grammy Awards you win? 4, nominated for a bunch more. I mean, I don't want to cut you short. Is it? How many Grammy Awards have you won?
I stopped counting.
Okay, you've won multiple Grammy Awards, multiple Dove Awards. And
no, that was pompous. I'm just kidding.
Well, you know what I'm saying. I mean, obviously, by your accomplishments on the wall there, you know, I think that besides all of those kind of accolades, I think everybody knows who you are and what you've done, both with Kansas and both on your solo career, and as well as I don't know how many people know the bands that you've produced or your projects that you've been involved with, but you anybody just go out there and look you up on the internet can see that you're a busy guy in the music industry, and even your former recording studio was in Nashville was a pretty busy studio as well. You've had a lot of artists come in there as well, but you and I have known each other for I don't know, like 7 years or something like that. When did On My Way to the Sun come out? Was it like 2013 or something like that?
I think Michael, I think you and I have known each other longer than that. 10.
Well, we go back to to 99. I first met you in 1999, but we weren't friends back then. So that goes back, 20, 21 years now. But
On My Way to the Sun came out, I think, I want to say about 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. So
it seems like yesterday. It seems like I just put that record out. Well,
the older you get, the shorter time is. I mean, I could do 5 years standing on one leg, for crying out loud. But it was a great album. It was a great solo effort. All your solo stuff. I mean, forget about what you've done with Kansas. Kansas has its own little niche, cut out. Your solo stuff is obviously it's recognizable because of your voice, but the writing is what's key there. And I think that there's some symmetry to Kansas because you wrote a lot of those songs that you sang on.
I've always written like that.
Yeah. But also you and Dino, your brother, have a very special relationship, and I know you guys write a lot of stuff together. Do you think that your relationship with your brother is key to your sound and your music, or is he riding on your coattails, or what's going on?
No, he's not. No. Dino's, I would say his role is being my best critic.
Okay.
John, take the song this way. I don't like where this is going. Let's work on this lyric together. Let's write a new bridge, stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a
really very integral, to a great song.
Yeah,
it's very important.
It's a dynamic relationship you have with your brother. So, and obviously,
the love-hate.
Well, it's siblings. What do you want? You know what I mean? So, there's love, hate, and every kind of.
It's been working for a long time.
Yeah. So why fool with it?
It has.
So, as we got cued into the beginning here, we We heard a song called "We Will Be Fine," which is a brand new song. I don't know. I know some other people have heard the song, but I'm gonna just say right now that it was a Blabber Brains show premiere. We premiered it here. You've heard it. Probably not first, but for this listening audience, that's the first time you've heard the song. So it was a Blabber Brains premiere song. So obviously you're working on some new material. And
I should have a new record out by, well, it's going to be done early 2021, but it's probably not going to be released until April of 2021 because we want to do a simultaneous release with Europe.
Right. Well,
we're signing a deal with a company in Europe that will take care of Europe and Japan. And, it's very important that we do a simultaneous release. Of course, they don't want it coming out here first. So, that
was going to be my question. It's a simultaneous release, right? They're not getting it ahead of us, right?
Oh, no.
Okay, good.
We'll hang on to U.S. and Canada, and they'll take the rest of the world. I mean, I don't have a lot of inroads to how to promote, to Japan and Russia and all those guys.
Right.
So they'll take care of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's the other side of that is once people get wind of it, you know what I mean? It kind of catches fire anyways. Grassroots, viral, whatever you want to call it. But your last album, On My Way to the Sun, you did a Kickstarter fundraising for it, and the fans pitched in to do that.
Mm-hmm. And the fans kicked in very well.
Well, yes, more than enough for you to get it done. I know that, but so your experience between doing an independent album like that and your upcoming album, which I know, like I said, the label's not involved with it, and every artist I talk to about this, they always prefer having their own autonomy and their own control over the music. But explain the difference from your point of view, the difference between being able to control all that and do what you want to do versus having to kind of ride the guidelines and stay within the lanes of working with a label.
Well, I'll give you an example. That song that "We Will Be Fine" that you played earlier, mm-hmm. I sent to Phil Ehart, the drummer in Kansas.
Right.
Who's one of the founding members of Kansas. And, those guys are pretty much landlocked right now. I mean, they're not doing anything.
Right.
And I sent him that song, and he called me back like a day later. He says, man, I mean, the stuff you're writing is really good. And he wants to start he's already had a company that plays the songs in movies. And he said, I'd like to get involved with you, man, because you just write some really cool stuff. Where was I going with that?
Was the difference between doing it on your own versus having some record company tell you what to do? Thanks,
Mark. That's the difference between having it on my own. If I didn't have that song on my own to be able to give to Phil, to give to a movie, into a movie, I couldn't do that because I don't own it. Somebody else owns it. Somebody else has the copyright. Somebody else has paid for it. Somebody else I have to recoup for hundreds of thousands of dollars before I can have access to my own song.
Right.
On the Kickstarter project, I didn't have to do that. So it enables me to get the song out to more people with less restrictions or no restrictions.
Right.
So that's why I brought up the Phil Ehart thing, because he could take that song and say, hey, what do you think of this for, yada, yada. And I could do it. Before I could never do it.
Well, let's talk about your relationship with Phil, because I mean, there's some things that I know. I'm not sure how privy it is to the public or how much you want to talk about it, but I don't know that a lot of people know that there was talk of you possibly rejoining Kansas when Steve retired or left the band, and I know that was a tough decision for you. But do you have anything to say about that? I mean, was it in your mind? Did you think you made a good decision? Were you regretting that? Or are you just still a healthy decision, a healthy relationship?
I made the decision definitely not to do it.
Right.
And I remember there was a thing that came out, and I think it was some prog rock magazine in Europe that said, God told John not to rejoin Kansas. It's like, really?
Jeez.
But you know what? it wasn't right for my life.
Right.
It just, I mean, those guys tour, man. They tour like crazy.
Right.
I mean, you get on a bus, you get on an airplane, you're gone for 2 months. I'm just not into that anymore.
No, I mean, you play, like right now, from what I witness, you play when you want to play, and you play as much as you want to play or as little as you want to play. And when you're in control of your own destiny, as far as, and I'm not just talking about financially. I'm talking about professionally, and because this filling the void of anybody with the talent that you have musically. You're not going to sit at home and waste the talents that God gave you. You're going to use them. But if you get to use them on your terms and not someone else's terms, I think you feel extra blessed by being able to do something like that.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, every musician's looking for, ultimately wants to be able to do that.
Right. So.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that say, why didn't you take the gig? I mean, my friend Dave Amato and Ario, you should have taken that gig, man. You're the right guy for that. I mean, you did that. And we had this conversation several times, me and Dave Amato.
Yeah.
And I said, Dave, I don't want to be owned. I want to own myself. I want to own my own time. I want to own when I make a solo, as many records as I want to make. And I'm content. I mean, it's not like I'm just sitting home struggling for a gig.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I personally know that you struggle with that decision at that time.
I did.
I do think, because it's tempting. Let's face it, it's tempting. And you still got the pipes. Everybody just heard coming in here, you still have the pipes to do it. Maybe I know you're a little under weather right now, but maybe not right now. But I'm just saying that. Ultimately, I think you made the right decision because of all the things we just talked about. And you brought up something else important.
I appreciate that, and I think my family agrees.
Yeah, I mean, family first. Family first.
I sat my whole family down. I said, "Look, this is what's in front of me. What do you guys think?" And I mean, my kids are, how old are they? 24, 18, and 27 now. But I sat them all down. They said, Dad, do you like what you're doing? Why do you want to change horses? If you dig what you're doing, just stay on the path.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't that hard of a decision.
Well, again, I think when you're choosing family first over those things, and you're not doing it for the payola or the glamour or any of this other stuff, I think you're always making the right decision. So kudos for doing that. But you mentioned something else about Dave Amato. I'm not sure a lot of people know your relationship with Dave Amato, but Dave played with you in Mastodon. Now I know he played on your most recent version of Mastodon, but did you play with him earlier as well, or how long have you known Dave?
I've known Dave 35 years.
Wow. Okay. So about as long as me and Mark have known each other, almost.
In fact, here's how I met Dave Amato. I walked into I think I was on a recess from a tour with Kansas. My personal friend and personal roadie was with me. We went out to a club, and we're sitting, and there's nobody in the club. And there's this band with David Amato, Jonathan Cain's brother, who they call Muggs, is on drums, and they start firing up Fire with Fire. It's like, what?
Wait, they're covering your song?
Well, yeah, he knew I was the only one there. How could he not notice?
That's funny.
As soon as they finished the song, they introduced me and say, John, if you want us to do it again, man, come up and sing it. It's like, I have to now. So ever since then, I've been best friends with Dave Amato. He's a dear friend.
Yeah.
And actually, Dave Amato, the very, very first showcase after I left Kansas, we did for Geffen Records. He was my guitar player, and what's her name? Betty Davis Eyes.
Kim Carnes.
Kim Carnes was there. She stole them out of my band. And then we did another showcase about a year and a half later, and in comes the guys with, I think it was MCA Records, with Cher. in comes walking Cher.
Yeah.
And then she stole Dave Amato.
Nice. Not the way it is.
The next thing I know, he's with Ted Nugent, and then he's with Bon Jovi's guitar player. What's his name?
Richie Sambora.
Sambora.
Yeah.
Richie, I'm in the early stages of dementia, fellas.
You're not that old yet.
So then they steal him, but this is all in good fun, man. I was so happy. Every time Dave Amato reached a different plateau, I was so happy for him, man.
Right.
And then he joined REO. He's been with REO 30 years.
Oh, I know, forever. I mean, Gary Richrath has been out for a while, and he was, Gary's replacement. So, been there forever.
Oh, Dave's great, man.
Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy as well.
He was. I talked to him a couple nights ago, and we could never have short conversations, always were long. I said, Dave, I'm making a new record. He went, what? I can't repeat his vernacular, but what the F are you talking about? What, how come I'm not effing on playing on it? Well, you can send it to me. Come on, man. What the F's wrong with you? Dave, it's just all unfolding, by itself.
Well, you seem to gather around a lot of very strong musicians. John Schlitt, I know he's really good friends with him.
Yeah.
And but the band that one of the tightest bands I think you play with and musicians you play with that nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but not a lot of people have heard of is Six Wire. And those guys in Six Wire are pretty darn talented, man. They're so tight.
One of those guys in that band has a major pedigree.
Yeah.
Was that a band that, if I remember correctly, years ago there was sort of like a Battle of Bands TV show, like on a Friday night, and they were a country band that went to the finals.
Best band in America or something like that.
Yeah. America's
greatest. Yeah, America's greatest band or something like that.
Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah. Well, they back John a lot, and John, you played it though. I
probably do 25 shows a year with those guys.
And you do the Patrick Warburton charity golf event with them. Patrick, again, I just have an affinity for St. Jude Hospital. I love the work that they do, and for him to raise that money for St. Jude. And Patrick, I know from other people that know him, a really solid stand-up guy. But that's supposed to be a really fun event. They've had a lot of big talented people play that event. Robbie Krieger from The Doors even has played there multiple times. You can go on and on mentioning the people that played that event.
Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
Tommy Johnson, the original singer of the Doobies. Who's the guy from just some serious player. Alice Cooper, of course.
Yeah.
Alex Lifeson from Rush.
I never saw him there. That's awesome.
Steven Stills.
Right.
Look over that's Steven Stills. He's going. Wow.
Well, you're always in good company. You played the Kentucky Derby, a couple of times now? The gala, the big red carpet gala event. How many times?
4 times.
4 times now. So, and I know we won't go down the road. You told me there's a really funny story about Robin Thicke that was hysterical. Oh my God. I just might drop into my knee. We won't call him. He'll probably never see this, but we don't have to go down that story. But you had a great story about Robin Thicke and Dennis DeYoung. During the first, I think it was the first time you played.
I never had the pleasure of meeting him personally.
Right.
But,
but you met his entourage.
I met his entourage, yes.
Can we just talk a little bit about just like a second? They're never going to see this, but we won't have to go into the whole story. But it was based.
They were pompous, man.
Oh, it was his entourage coming in, basically saying, that. Well, you tell me, like nobody bother Robin because he's what.
We each had a half an hour sound check.
Right.
And me and Dennis DeYoung were waiting on the sidelines because it was going to be Robin Thicke and then Dennis, and I wanted to see Dennis's sound check.
Right.
And then it was going to be me. Dennis had his stuff down. He's a pro. It probably was going to take 15 minutes.
Right.
Then I was going to do my sound check with the band. But Robin Thicke's band came up, and they didn't know a song. So they rehearsed for close to 3 hours.
Instead of a sound check. It was a rehearsal instead of a sound check.
And what they did, it was like they put this barrage of people around him, so nobody would shut him down.
But
And it was crazy.
yeah, I mean, you said something like his entourage said something about, don't bother Robin because he's been nominated for so many Grammys. And you thought in your head, like you just wanted to tell them, well, yeah, well, I have 4 Grammys. So whatever. I mean, but, obviously being the Christian you are. But, and that's something you could have easily thrown in their face.
I've been tempted to say a lot of things, but I refrain these days.
But yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you what other people are like in this industry. You can either walk the humble road or walk the road of like, I don't know anybody else because there's nobody else who can touch me road. And, God bless you for the road that you walk, which is the humble road.
Well, what's sad about Robin is, I mean, the guy's talented, man.
Yeah.
The guy's really talented. And when he went on, my wife and I are sitting in the back because I had already done my set. And we're sitting in the back and he does this one-hit song. And then nobody else knew anything else he was playing.
Exactly. I don't even like the hit, but I know a lot of, obviously that was on the charts.
Well, he got sued for $6 million for that. So.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, but what I didn't like so much about him, which got on my nerves, was didn't he get caught like he was getting divorced, his wife was divorcing him. I think he was running around and then all of a sudden in all of his concerts, they're recording him. He's pleading for her to take him back on every, he just made it. Yeah. And he went on talk shows and he just went out there, was just like begging in front of the camera every night, every show. And probably it was right after that hit song, because then everybody else started walking on and leaving. He went to it was like a 6-month promotion of him just doing nothing but just begging in front of his audience for her to come back. And of course, she never came back.
I think he realizes now what a mistake that Miley Cyrus thing was.
Oh, I think Miley Cyrus finally realizes what a mistake that was too. Thankfully, I think she's thankfully trying to turn her life around. But I don't even think my kids were in the room, and my wife and I were blushing. It's like, what? Oh, that was pathetic. I mean, it was absolutely pathetic. And what's funny was just this past weekend, my daughter who goes to Penn State, Billy Ray Cyrus did a special acoustic live.
How's their team doing?
What's that?
How's their team doing?
Let's not talk about it. They suck this year.
Ahead.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, so Billy Ray Cyrus was playing just for the Penn State students over the weekend, and it looked like he was like sitting in the corner of an attic somewhere and playing acoustic guitar. But that guy is just you wonder like that Miley that apple fell so far from the tree from where Billy Ray is. Billy Ray's, I mean, he's singing Amazing Grace on his streaming, you know what I mean, for these kids at Penn State and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, and then I started talking to my daughter, and she's like, Miley's not the same Miley she used to be. She's changed a lot. I'm like, oh, I haven't.
I'll tell you, she can definitely sing though, man.
She's got so much talent. She's got so much talent.
On that music show that she's on, what is it? She's doing The Voice now. And she seems actually pretty cool with everybody. You know what I mean? She seems to be doing everything she can to help.
I'm hoping she comes around.
Along.
I'm hoping she comes around.
I'll draw a good example. I think, hopefully. She's young, man. What is she, 25?
She's something like that. Yeah, she's very young.
I was 25 and couldn't tie my shoes.
Well, exactly.
I think that, and if anybody disputes this, they're lying. My brother Dino discovered Katy Perry.
Really?
Her name was Katie Hudson.
Right, I know that.
Saw her at a church in L.A. She was warming up a 5-band showcase. She was only the warm-up. She did 3 songs on acoustic, yada, yada. And the showcase got over with. And my brother Dino said, who's that little girl that warmed up the show? Oh, that's Katie Hudson. Her and her parents are part of the church. And he said, can I meet with her? And so I think he stayed over a day after and met with her and her parents. And then she flew out to Nashville and we signed her to our label. And she did 2 records for us. But I see, to fast forward, I see Katy Perry coming around.
Really? I hope so.
And as a believer in Christ, we need to keep her in prayer because she's a big influence over young gals.
Yeah, much like Miley. But I mean, yeah, I mean, she was before she became known as Katy Perry, she was singing. She sang a song with POD, back up, and she was going down that road. She was going down that Christian music road, and
well, she definitely took a left turn, obviously.
Yeah.
But so, you know what? She's not. I think she's going to come back around. I mean, I would have to say that we're going to all be blown away when she comes back around. I think she's going to come back around in a big way.
I love it that these young girls, like I said, that do have the revelation. I mean, you have, oh crap, what's her name that was on Wizards of Waverly Place? My daughters are going to disown me for not remembering her name. I'll think of it in a second. But anyways, like that she is now like singing, and like there's viral videos of her singing in church, and singing gospel music and stuff like that. Oh, Selena Gomez. And
really?
Yeah, there's viral videos of her singing gospel music in church, and I'm like that just like warms my heart that they're being touched at that early age to be influenced to go down that road.
Michael, it's interesting you say. I'll tell you what I think happens because I've been there.
Yeah,
you get there, so to speak, make a lot of money. I mean, I've never been as popular as Katy Perry or Selena Gomez, but you get there, you get to the top, and you go, "Wow, is this all it is? Is this the pinnacle of everything?" And then you start questioning yourself, going, "Am I supposed to be happier now because I have millions of dollars and I have millions of fake friends? I mean, is this all there is?" I mean, that's where I went. And I think people like that, just, they start realizing that, there's got to be more to it than this. I mean, can this possibly be a lie I bought into? That doesn't mean you stop. That doesn't mean you stop making records and you stop singing, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, especially the only thing like you should be questioning yourself is like when you're in the middle of making the video for Fight Fire with Fire, did you question anybody to say, what the hell are we doing here? What is this video about?
How did you jump to that?
I'm sorry. That's one of the.
Did you have a problem with that big mosquito?
No, was that a mosquito? I mean,
the mosquito, yeah,
I know, but it was so. But here's the great thing about that video. I remember watching that video about a year or so ago.
Are you in the same room with him?
No.
Can you give me a little? Like my uncles used to say, "Can you give me a little scaffoon?"
I will say this: it is so 80s. That video that it's like I wish that someone right now would make a video. 80. I get that, but I wish that someone right now would make an homage to those 80s videos that just made no sense, like Rocky Like a Hurricane video and stuff like that.
Well, it was better than Men with Hats. Men Without Hats.
Anything was better than them, in my opinion, anyhow.
But no, I'm just ripping. I'm ripping on you. It was a very 80s video, man. But I'm wondering what goes through the artist's mind of like, what are we doing here? What are we actually doing? Or are you just like following orders? You're like, okay, we do this, we're doing that.
We were just following orders. All right.
It's pretty funny though.
We didn't know what the end result that they had in their mind. We didn't have any idea.
No, you wish you had creative like control over stuff like that back then.
Do you have any folks in the room with us tonight?
Any what?
Do you have any folks in the room with us tonight?
Any folks? No, it's just us right now and our viewing audience.
And
obviously.
my dog's on my couch. I'm down in my basement in my music room.
But is anybody watching the show?
Not live, and they'll watch it next week whenever this thing airs. So,
yeah.
But we have thousands of viewers. So,
I always love taking live questions.
Yeah, no, we can't do that on this show. We've talked about doing an actual live show, and maybe we'll get around to doing that maybe in our second season. This actually, by the way, is our finale for this year, our first season wrap up, and that's why we're making it like an extra long episode featuring the wonderful John Elefante here and Lacey Sturm coming up a little bit later. We wanted to go out because 2020 just needs some sort of big exit, and what better way to do that with you guys on here on this show.
I appreciate that.
you need to get back. I mean, when things start getting back to normal, you need to get your butt back to Pittsburgh, or I need to get back down to Nashville. I will say though that the last time you were here was about 5 years ago, and we hung out together. The last time I was in Nashville, you blew me off. So that's that's all I got to say about that.
Hey, you know what? What can I say?
Well, I
Got a
don't.
little typhoon.
I don't blame you for that. Hey, as far as I know, like you go out and your big thing right now is you do a lot of these classic rock shows. When you were before the COVID shutdown, you were doing these classic rock shows.
A lot of them.
And I know that, like, even when you were in Pittsburgh, you were playing with the symphony here, but then you had a band, but then you were doing not just Kansas stuff, but you were doing Journey stuff. You're doing all kind of old classic rock stuff, Toto, whatever. But so when you still got your pipes, but is there something like is there a Kansas song that you like want to do live that you just can't do anymore, or that you wish you could do, or is everything on the table? Not
really. I mean, when I go out, I just try to do the most popular ones: Point of No Return, Wayward Son, Hold On, Fight Fire, Play the Game Tonight, Wayward Son.
My personal favorite song that you've ever done is and since the time you did this, Chasing Shadows. Just my ultimate favorite Kansas, John Elefante Kansas song that there is. What about you? Do you have a favorite song, or is that your favorite song?
I used to love singing a song that I didn't originally sing and I didn't write, called No One Together.
Oh, great song. Love that song. But
centuries of backward ways, and many nights lying lost. Who can count a good man when they're gone?
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know the words.
I remember when I first, when I was a youngster, I learned that whole song on the bass, that and Song for America. When I learned it on the bass, yeah. I mean, so many people think of, they put Kansas in this little box of like 5 songs, Dust in the Wind and Point of No Return and Carry 'Em Away Wayward Son.
Not a real
Kansas stuff.
But
they're, I mean, like Kansas is they're a progressive rock band. And if you know that by listening to the music and listening to those bass riffs and listening to the drums and the keyboards, and it's really progressive especially for its time.
I still talk to Carrie all the time.
Yeah. Well, I know you got a great relationship with Carrie. Yeah.
I sang on 3 songs recently on a solo record he's putting out, and I sang I'm the voice of Lazarus on his cantata.
Well, was he? Am I remembering correctly? Did he help out with one or 2 things with On My Way to the Sun, or was he involved with On My Way?
No, On My Way to the Sun was Rich Williams. And
Okay.
David Ragsdale.
Yeah, there's a couple songs on there that are very Kansas-ish.
Yeah. The record that Carrie played on we just released it on LP. It's a double album. Have you seen it?
Was it Mastodon?
3.
The new Mastodon, right. I haven't heard any of the music on it.
Mastodon 3, which came out 2010, I believe.
Oh, wait, maybe that. Yeah, I did hear that. I thought this was a new one that you guys released. So this is the one back when you had Dave Amato back in the band and stuff. Yeah, I remember that.
Right, Dave was on that record. Kerry Livgren played on it.
Okay.
But we just put it on LP. It's a double record. It's awesome.
I saw your post on it. It looked pretty, like the LP looked pretty cool, man. It looked pretty badass.
Yeah, it's I just got it. I got it in the mail. I was blown away.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, I mean, how many songs do you think are going to be on this new record of yours you've got coming out? I mean, do you have a title picked out yet for the album, or is it still up in the air? Or
we're still kind of floating it all around.
So, what are you thinking about? 10 tracks or more, 11, or 11 tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think since it's been what do we say, 2013 from On My Way to the Sun, so 7 years. I think people are itching for something new from you. I mean,
it's gonna be a cool record. I mean,
I know through the years you've done like one-offs and stuff like that. Especially since this is Christmas time. If anybody wants to hear John, there's plenty of Christmas music out there that John has done over the years. Silent Night, "O Come All You Faithful," and even you did the cover of the Charlie Brown classic "Christmas Time Is Here," which is
I love that.
Great version of that song too. By the
Are
way,
you guys still see me? Because I lost you.
no, I see you.
No, we see you.
Yeah, I don't know. So
Okay. Let me
But so there's plenty of Christmas stuff out there for the fans to go and catch. Whether you want to look it up on YouTube or iTunes, or I'm sure it's available somewhere. Sometimes those old one-off songs aren't available on iTunes or Spotify or anything like that, but you can sometimes find them via YouTube. Somebody posts them.
A lot of times, I don't know. I subscribe to YouTube Music, which used to be Google Play. Now they're pushing everybody over to YouTube. There's stuff there.
Yeah. All right. Well, John, is there anything else you want to promote for anybody? Why don't you you at least put up your we'll say your Facebook page. What is it at John Elefante?
Yeah, johnelefante.com. But there's really we haven't posted anything new because we have a lot of stuff coming out that's new.
Right. And when the new album comes out, is it going to be available for on iTunes and Spotify and all those?
We're going to do a full LP, CD, 8-track, cassette. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say I haven't heard anybody trying to bring back the 8-track.
Well,
hey, why the heck not, right?
What I always hated was when you would have one of your favorite songs. And every now and then you'd get that 8-track where that song would end on a 1-track and fade out, and you wait for it to click over and it would start back up. I mean, that was just ridiculous. They could have come up with something better.
I like whenever you try to find the one song on the cassette that you wanted to listen to, and it's like, nope.
I'll never forget the Yes record. I mean, Roundabout. Morning, summer, down and in and out the, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those. I mean, we don't in the digital world, and even with the CDs when they first came out, we don't really have to deal with that anymore. Thank God.
Well, guys, let's all pray that 2021 is better than 2020.
It's got to be, dude. It just has to be. It absolutely has to be.
9 months.
Like I said,
my last show was. Oh, it was Six Wire, St. Jude, March 9th.
Well, I heard news coming out of, I think it was it Live Events or was it Ticketmaster?
Live Nation.
Live Nation. Live Nation said that they foresee a way to bring live concerts back by summer of 2021. So
they're talking about doing COVID tests before you can get in the building.
Well, right now they're doing something scientific where they're doing research on the aerosol releasing of massive amounts of people together and what the reaction of that is, so that they can find a way to better protect the people in the crowd, during that, and as well as scanning people for fevers and stuff like that coming into the show. But they seem very optimistic that they can bring live concerts back by summer of 2021. So let's pray that happens, and you need to get back on the road. And
I lost. Gosh, I had 30 or 35 shows booked.
Yeah. Well, if things get ever too bad, you can sell a few of those gold records behind you there.
My wife's getting real tired of me.
I think that's a story around the world, isn't it? There's a whole lot of wives that we're tired of their husbands.
She's finding faults with me that I didn't even know I had.
Well, I mean, we're all trying to find new hobbies and stuff like that. Well, that's what spawned this whole entire show was COVID. If it wasn't for COVID, we wouldn't have the Blabber Brain show. So actually, it's not a bad thing overall. But we're looking for a brighter 2021. And look, we all know at the end of the day who's in charge. That man is still on the throne.
My memory of 2020 is going to be.
This
our show.
No, you're not going to believe this. The Hallmark Channel.
What?
You watch a lot of those.
I love it.
Christmas.
I know what's going to happen. It's a no-brainer. I don't have to think.
You were watching those Christmas shows in July when they were showing it, weren't you?
Oh, you know it. You know what? I've become real good friends with this guy that's like got $100 million contract in Las Vegas. His name's Terry Fader. Have you seen that guy?
Oh yeah, America's Got Talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second
He's
season
become
champ.
good friends. We're texting each other back and forth every day. Him and I are Hallmark buddies. Him and his wife are like Hallmark.
Right.
We've seen all this. What am I talking about? I mean, it's so different. It's so detached from reality.
Kind of like The Bachelorette. Like, why don't you be watching that? You might as well be watching The Bachelorette.
It's so detached from reality that it's soothing.
Oh man, John, listen to me, buddy. You need to get out. You need to get out of the house.
We went out to dinner last night.
Oh, you mean you have dine-in places down there? Because our jackass governor shut everything down. We can't dine in anywhere here. So at least you got that going for you.
Well, I think we could do 50% capacity.
Yeah, well, we could until Saturday. So the Saturday we got shut down.
They pulled the rug out.
Yeah,
Saturday?
again, even after a court already came in and told him, slapped his hand, and said you can't do that because it's unconstitutional, and he did it again anyways. So whatever. Let's not go there because otherwise this will be a 3-hour episode.
Where are you, Mike? Are you in Pennsylvania? You guys in Pennsylvania?
Yeah. Governor Wolf. Why the members don't? There was talk of trying to impeach him. They should. Otherwise, we're stuck with him for 2 more years.
Yeah, I think we're stuck with him for 2 more. The biggest problem is it's not the restaurants that are the problem. It's the idiots that don't want to do anything is the problem. The restaurants are doing what they
exactly
should be doing. It's trying to control the idiots that are screwing it up for everybody else that aren't even in the restaurant.
Well, look, while we're talking about this, let's just get this out there and we got to wrap here. But I know that. But if you looked, I looked at
staying all night.
You're welcome to stay all night, man. I don't care if we lose anybody or if we gain more people.
On this stuff, you're never gonna get it.
Look, I saw that. I'm a data guy. I'm a numbers guy. Mark will tell you this, and he and I have talked a lot about numbers and data and stuff like this, right? You know they came out with the numbers for contact tracing. And the number one contact tracing of people having COVID is from large family get-togethers and gatherings and stuff like this. The second is like events where people are gathered together. You know what's near the bottom of the list of contact tracing? Restaurants and bars. It's like 1% people getting COVID from going to restaurant and bars. Where is the science and data to say don't go to restaurants and bars because you may get COVID if only 1% of the people that are getting COVID are getting them from restaurants and bars? You answer me that.
But you can go riot.
Oh yeah, you can go riot all you want. You just can't go to a restaurant or a bar.
I would spend much times in restaurants or bars once they open. I'm surely not going to riot. I don't care whether it's safe or you can get sick or not. I'm not into that type of thing. Are you able to see our screen down there, John?
Yeah.
You able to see us again?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay,
yeah.
Mike, before I forget, Mike wanted me to show you. I'm drinking this Tennessee small batch whiskey, Uncle Ernest. Nearest. Mike wanted me to show you this glass that I picked up when I was Christmas shopping. It was a rocks glass.
Down there, I'll step on it.
It's a 2-pack for $30.
We got the terrible towel. We got the Steeler glasses. We know you hate the Steelers.
Wait, hang on. I'll be right back.
Oh, geez. Here we go. Look, okay, this has gone on long enough. I think we're going to about end it right now because otherwise this is just going to get ugly. Oh, geez, oh, man. Look at that. Not a scratch on it, which is like typical for the Titans, right? If that was a game worn, that's probably a game worn helmet right there with no blemishes on it.
Yeah, it's Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What are you trying to say? That nobody touches him, right? So that's why there's no blemishes on the helmet. Nobody can touch Derrick Henry.
What cracks me up about watching these games, guys, is they make them put these masks on the sidelines.
Right.
Have you noticed?
Yeah.
And then they go out in the game and spit in each other's face.
I know they're going to try to, I guess, do something.
They take the mask off, and they get out there and they're rolling around on the field, spitting each other's face. I mean, come on, what?
I personally like the piped in crowd noise. That's my favorite.
That would be a good business to get into if you could put together the right stuff in the studio to sell to these stadiums, or even maybe on a lower level, like the smaller Division 2 and 3 colleges.
Right.
And for football games, and pipe that sound in.
No, I don't know. Penn State needs something. They need some sort of boost. Okay, yeah, Tennessee. Excuse me. What's the Tennessee Titans record? What's the Steelers record? Yeah. Okay. Well, the last couple of weeks, yes, the Steelers have stunk, but they
always come through though.
Yeah, we're going to come.
Can't put them down.
And John and I love ribbing each other during Predators and Steelers and Titans games and stuff like that, and it's all in good fun.
I don't know where hockey's going, man. Jeez.
Well, they're starting the new season supposedly early January.
Full arenas, right?
No, I mean, but it'll be like it was before. But we'll see. I'm we're hockey fans, we're football fans. So
I'm looking around the room to see if I have any Pred stuff. Oh, I'll show you this stuff.
I know what you don't have. You don't have a Stanley Cup anything.
But I have this.
Well, yeah, you got Jerry Rice there.
All right. Pretty cool, huh?
Well, why is there a giant sign behind Jerry Rice?
I don't know. That was at the,
that was your wishful thinking that he played for the Giants, maybe.
That was at the Super Bowl in '99. It was that what do they call that little bonanza that they do at the Super Bowl? When the Titans went to the Super Bowl in '99 with the Rams, they have all these.
I know what I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
they have like their press week or whatever.
I got to throw a pass to him, and he dropped it.
Probably was thrown 3 feet over his head.
It was thrown at his feet.
Well, that makes just about as much sense. So, all right, John. Hey, well, thanks so much for coming on the show here. We really appreciate it. And when your new album comes out, I think we'll have to have you back on.
I want to dig around a little more here.
We got plenty of time to do that via text messages. Well,
I appreciate
it. There's still some football left over. And look, I God willing that things are going to eventually. I'm not a fan of the new normal. I don't believe there's a new normal. I think we will get back to what it was before. And you'll be playing in front of people. As I said before, I could stand on one leg for 5 years. I could, whatever. I blink my eyes, 5 years go by. Look, my daughter's in college, for crying out loud. She was just born the other day. From, what I'm. You're a grandfather now, for crying. You've been a grandfather for a couple of years already. Yeah, I have. Come on. I mean, you know what I'm talking about here.
Let's see. Yeah.
So, it won't be long before you're back out playing in front of the crowds again. So.
Can you see that?
Oh, look at that. How old is she?
2.5.
2.5. Okay. Well, you're blessed. You're blessed. Look at that. Beautiful.
Cutie.
Takes after her grandmother.
Well,
and mother. Not after her grandfather.
Actually, my daughter's adopted, so
I know. Well, I know that. We know the whole. Well, if anybody wants to know the story of that, just go watch the long version of This Time by John Elefante from On My Way to the Sun. You'll hear the whole backstory behind that song. I recommend it to everybody. It's a wonderful, heart-touching story about how he adopted his daughter.
A little disturbing how YouTube took 3 million views away from us, but.
Well, again, you got to take that with a grain of sand because that's just YouTube and they stink.
You know what, Michael? I don't care as long as
I know. Everybody knows what you did. You were on Mike Huckabee, and when you were on Mike Huckabee, 1 million people saw it just off of that show alone. So people know the song, they know the story. But if you want to seek it out, if you haven't heard it yet, go to YouTube and search for This Time and watch the long version of it, and you'll hear the story behind it. And John, you're a brother in Christ, a good friend, and I appreciate you coming on the show. And I love you. And hope you have a Merry Christmas and a very blessed New Year for you and your whole entire family. And we, well, like I said, we'll circle back around with you when your album comes out, and I hope that it does
Same to you guys,
tremendous for you. All right, and stay tuned. We'll have Lacey Sturm and Josh Sturm coming up next on this expanded edition of the Blabber Brains Show. We'll be right back.
Blabber Brains.